The following categories are the causes or reasons for brain drain in developing countries, notably the Philippines. In this presented smart art lies the categories' respective subcategories. Our first category is political instability. A nation's lack of assurance and freedom of expression to its working citizens led to bullet number 1, the discrimination of its citizens' capabilities. Many are being belittled in their workforces due to gender, especially being born female. They are physically and mentally harmed. This situation resulted in professionals showcasing their potential internationally, as they are known for being liberal and open minded in the working industry. Political repression is the act of a state entity controlling a citizenry to restrict or prevent the citizenry's ability to take part in the political life of a society. Due to this act, citizens are stripped of freedom, leading to bullet number 3, lack of freedom. As we are restrained from voicing our concerns about our government's lack of support to its working citizens, we are repressed our rights as our nation's citizens, notable freedom of expression. In increasing accountability pressure, it is the idea of holding schools, districts, educators, and students responsible for their institution's level of education. As this concept is prevalent in the educational sector, an institution is pressured to maintain a high passing rate, which drains the educational system, especially its teachers and students. Our next category is the shortage of economic opportunity. Due to low salaries offered in a nation, it is evident that working citizens opt to choose options that provide reasonable pay depending on their careers. For lack of economic growth, a country's stagnation in improving the quality of life of its citizens results in the loss of prosperity and opportunities that leads to detrimental impacts on livelihoods to the masses.
As a continuation for the shortage of economic opportunity, the next bullet is limited environment for professional development. The insufficient support of the government to form and hone professional skills in a country can gravely affect its nation. An inferiority when it comes to the working environment limits the growth of every professional, which only gives them little benefits. This could result in losing interest on the job, as there are no constant room for personal and professional development, which is why they try to look for this in another country. Strict bureaucratic procedures. This means that there's a specific and strict organized system to follow within an organization. This does not only limit the growth and development of every professionals, but it is also mentally and possibly physically exhausting to stay in this kind of organization, which is why some of the professionals in a country try to look for better jobs abroad, which has great working procedures. Now let us move on to the poor quality of life. Lack of good education for children. Quality education is a necessity for every child to grow. If one wishes for their child to attain a better future, then it always starts with attaining a better education. And a country who fails to offer this to its community only leads to different families to consider going abroad just to attain a better education. Poverty. Working benefits in a poor country is only accessible for those who have great opportunities in life, and those who are financially troubled must go through hardships in order to attain a better life. But sometimes, even if they have a job, they still suffer from one of the effects of poverty, which is why going abroad is the only choice for an individual to fully commit to the idea of having a better life. Poor working conditions. Working in a poor environment can have effects physically and mentally for an employee, and so working in these conditions only affects their productivity and limits professional growth. Lack of recognition. When a person's value is unappreciated in a workplace, this has a great effect on them as an individual. A person's unappreciated efforts could lead to losing interest in their job and tend to be disengaged, thus slowing the whole working process of an organization. And lastly, reduced social status. People from a higher class tend to get better work and life opportunities compared to the lower class. They are frequently chosen for high controlling jobs as they are expected to have an educational background which only makes them suitable for a job. While the lower class, on the other hand, are given low-paying jobs since they tend to have lack qualities that they are deprived of because of insufficient funds for their education.